Good evening, Brian. It's Tuesday, and it's super exciting to hear about the nice person you met at the craft store when you guys were there getting cross-stitch supply. But it's just super cool to see that some random person at the craft store, I mean, granted they worked there, but still, they don't know you, but they decided, hey, this person's trying out a new thing. I have lots of things that go with that hobby that I don't use anymore. Let me just give it to them. That kind of unprompted generosity and niceness from strangers, I think, is something that we need to see more of in the world, and it's really awesome to hear about that thing happening to you. And it's also funny that you mentioned it, Brian, because it brings up the topic that I already had wanted to talk about today. As you know, one of my favorite creators, people on YouTube, are actually the Green brothers, Hank and John Green. John Green and his wife Sarah host another show on YouTube called The Art Assignment, and it's really awesome. I have never really thought of myself as an artist, Brian. I've always been interested in visual arts, and I've always wanted to be able to draw or paint or sketch or do something, but I've never really had the skill to do it. However, it's always been something that I thought was neat. And so over the weekend, I was bored and decided I would check out a new YouTube channel, and so I started watching the videos of The Art Assignment. I'm about a year in now, so I've watched about a year's worth of their videos, and I have to say, it's awesome. In each episode, they usually meet with and interview a famous artist or somebody who's well known in their field and who has a very interesting perspective and thought about how they create their work. And then every episode, that artist usually gives the viewers an assignment. And this is something that that the people watching the videos are supposed to do. It's usually pretty simple. You're supposed to do it and then record it somehow and then post it to some kind of place, either YouTube or Instagram or something, to sort of join in the community. But one of the really, really cool things that I have noticed about it is how accessible it makes it. I feel like art in general has a stereotype of being very hard to get into and very, there's an elite group of people who are artists and everyone else can't really appreciate it. But the Art Assignment YouTube channel really shows how accessible getting interested in and appreciating and making art can be. And the fact that it actively encourages audience participation, I think, is really awesome. Some of my favorite assignments were to step outside and figure out what direction is the quietest and walk in that direction until you can find the quietest place in your area and then record that. Another was involved with calling up someone that you know and figuring out what the exact midpoint in between the two of you would be, picking a time and then not speaking to that person until you met up at that exact midpoint. This could end up being in the woods or in a field or in someone's yard or whatever the geographical midpoint would be. And one thing that I really have noticed as the videos have gone on is how almost all of them and almost all of what it makes it sound like art as a whole is about is really slowing down and interacting more with your world and with the things around you. And the people in your life and the moments in your life and just being more aware and mindful of things of, don't just go about your daily routine, but really think about like, oh, somebody designed that piece of furniture to be the way it is. I wonder why. Or, what am I hearing right now? There are birds and there are cars, things like that, but it really causes you to be more aware of and more connected to the things around you. And so I think that's really, really neat. I'll put a link in the description for the Art Assignment channel, Brian. I would love to hear your thoughts if you decide to check it out and watch a couple of videos. I really think it'd be fun. We could even incorporate it into this channel if we wanted to by maybe doing the assignments every week and mentioning them in our vlog. I don't know, but I think you'd especially really enjoy it because you're more artistic than I am for sure, but I really like it so far, and so I'd love to hear what you think about it. I look forward to seeing your video tomorrow, Brian. Have a good night.